And good evening, everybody, and welcome to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land. I'm Ethan Greenberg, and alongside of me is my co-host, Mike Rasinski, back from a little bit of a break. So glad to have him here. We are part of Collectin' and Connectin', a good vibes community. Thank you for being here, Mike. How are you this evening, my friend?
Doing good. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a while. Sorry for the long break, but started to get things sorted out with the next career moves and got some time back. So we're back. Happy to be back after the hiatus.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you back. Don't worry, you didn't miss much. It was a long, crappy Brown season. That's all you need to know. It was a very long, crappy Brown season, and more of the same. So we are kind of, I don't know, we're back where we started.
We
60 plus
really are,
years
aren't
ago.
we? We really are just back where we started.
Yeah, it's absolutely okay. That's crazy. Someone's talking about going to the Thunderbolts games at the Coliseum. Wow, that is a blast from the past in the comments there. But we've got a great show here for you tonight. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Mike, glad to have you back in here with us, and we're gonna have some special guests here. We're gonna talk a little bit of Browns. We're gonna talk some Cavs, and we're gonna keep an eye on some Maction at the Mac Center as our Kent State Golden Flashes host the number 25 Miami of Ohio Redhawks. So let's welcome in a couple of guests here. They've been on the show before, and last time they were on, it ended with someone shoveling snow. And isn't it great? We're gonna have snow again, supposed to have snow again this weekend.
Just no games to bet on, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, yes. All right. Oh, look at this. Mike from the UK, he is in. He is ready to go. All right, let me pop these
Good
fellas
to see you,
on.
Mike.
Yes, Mike is the man. Hey, look who we've got here. We have got Camden and we have got Carter. Fellas, how are you doing this evening? And thank you for joining us.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Nice to have you in.
Yeah, thank you.
And just if everybody who doesn't remember, Camden is our resident Ravens expert and fan, and Carter brings a unique perspective to Browns fandom. From a 13-year-old. What we both have in common right now is we're both looking for coaches. Who would have thought both the Ravens and Browns looking for coaches at the same time?
Oh,
and
man.
Steelers.
And the Steelers. Yeah, the AFC North has one coach and two quarterbacks right now.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I don't know. So, Camden, what do you think about the Harbaugh thing, about him being fired and him now going to the Giants? Are you looking forward to moving forward from him? Are you upset about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts because, as Mike said, you are the resident Ravens fan.
It should have happened a while ago. It kind of, all the blown leads, it's just been going on. Well, watching the Patriots game where we blew yet another one, there was a stat that popped up on the screen where it said that the Ravens had the most blown leads over a 5-year span in NFL history. We had 12 over a 5-year span. Harbaugh was running a good team, but he also had great talent. So, also, my grandpa's a Giants fan, so I'm looking forward to him having the same pain as I've had.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then this is an interesting thing here. Mike from the UK says he wonders if Harbaugh will regret jumping quickly at the Giants job now that the Bills job is available. What's the story? What's the word on the street, Camden, in terms of coaching candidates in Baltimore? Have you been following it closely?
Not too closely, but Sean McDermott's out. I really like Joe Brady. Joe Brady's been running a tight ship over in Buffalo. He's been making stuff work with not a lot of receiving talent. Just Josh Allen, James Cook over there, and he's been running a top 5 offense for multiple years now.
Right. I don't know. Carter, how closely have you been following this? Do you have, feel the pain along with the rest of us? Do you and Camden commiserate over the fact that we have no coach?
I'm kind of, I don't know if it was a good decision or a bad decision that he's gone, but I feel like this could either end really good for us or really bad for us because,
Yeah. No,
It's
I think you know what? You're in the majority. Nobody knows what's going to happen here. We're all just scratching our heads and wondering what in the world is going to happen. Did you guys see the latest? Mike and Carter and Camden, just before we came on a little earlier, the Browns have had some second interviews lined up. And one of the interviews they had lined up was was former Miami Dolphins coach and a former staff, member of the coaching staff in Cleveland, Mike McDaniel, and he has withdrawn his name and will not be coming to Cleveland for an in-person interview. I'm not upset about that. I got to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I would have been happy about it. He's not been doing too great over in Miami, but I would have been happy about it. Make him over
Well,
here.
that may mean that he's coming to Baltimore, Camden. If he's withdrawn from the Browns, the Browns search, I don't know. I was looking forward to the goofy press conferences because that would be the complete opposite of Stefanski, what we saw every week. At least that would be entertaining. The games might not be entertaining, but at least the press conferences would be entertaining.
I don't
Well,
think even the sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think even the Ravens are dumb enough to bring Mike McDaniel in after what's been going on in Miami.
We'll have this conversation next week when the Ravens hire McDaniels and see what you think then.
No, I
Please
think,
no.
I mean, my thought is when he stops shopping in the little boy section for pants and can grow a beard, then he can get another head coaching job. I think that's my thought there.
Well, here's the thing too. How attractive really is the Browns coaching job when you have the Steelers sitting out there, the Ravens,
and
the Bills
now?
We're gonna get whoever's left, I guess.
That is the whole point. That is, you've hit on it right there. I mean, Camden, you got to be sitting there feeling pretty good about the Baltimore job. Although, do you think that a candidate looking at Baltimore might suddenly go, hey, the Buffalo job is now available? That's pretty darn attractive up there. Maybe they see that as a better situation. Are you concerned about that?
Well, both spots I feel like are pretty good coaching spots. Both made it to the divisional round last year. Both AFC championship makers. At the end of the day, like, both are good spots. As a Ravens fan, I gotta say Ravens got the better potential because Bills kind of got a lot of scared general managing over there.
You're calling out the GM? Whoa! Hey now.
They're not getting any receiver talent at this point. It's been.
Oh, wait a second. Wait, I'm gonna have to ask you then. Well, what about the Ravens receiver talent? Where's that?
We don't got a lot either, but we got Zay Flowers, who doesn't seem to know how to. He doesn't seem to know how to run forward, but other than that, he's a pretty good receiver. He fumbles a lot.
At least he can catch the ball. We have receivers that can't even do
Jerry
that.
Judy.
So,
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I do have to ask you though, Camden. So the Browns did the Ravens a huge favor by beating the Steelers. We served it up on a silver platter for you.
And I don't want to talk about it.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it, man.
No, that was a tough loss. I mean, that was definitely a difficult one. How do you think Loop will recover from that game? I've heard there was a lot of nastiness from fans toward Loop.
I mean, at the end of the day, just move on. One play out the window. Season's over. That was your rookie season. Just prove yourself next year.
Right. And do you think it's kind of messed up that fans will go after an athlete, a kid, whether it's people in the NFL or in college or otherwise? I mean, you're younger. You're of the generation. There's lots of social media and stuff. I mean, how do you perceive that?
It's tough. You're getting extreme cases death threats, unextreme cases just people hating on you on social media. It's not fun to get all that hate directed at you all day, every day, and he's gonna get that hate for a while. He just got to prove himself. It's really difficult to have to deal with that, but just everyone makes mistakes at some point. Just gotta.
Oh, sure. Now, would Justin Tucker have made that?
No. Maybe 3 years ago, but
Okay.
Last year was, not great. He is way more clutch. I'd say
He definitely was
he-
at one point there.
if it was 2 years ago, Justin Tucker, 3 years ago, Justin Tucker, that's going in every single time. Anything from closer than 50, always. But last year, God, I don't want to talk about last year. He was the reason we didn't have a home game in Buffalo last year. So many
Right.
games.
He just was no good. He needed some, I don't even know. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm just gonna move on there.
I have a question for Carter, because he was talking earlier. We were just talking about how the Browns, in my opinion, is probably the least attractive coaching option out there from all the ones that are still out there. Carter, what makes the Browns actually an attractive destination? Why would any coach want to come to the Browns?
Probably because like they're like building and they like look strong because like they should have better draft picks this year, hopefully. And they have like Shador, who's a young quarterback, and he has a lot of talent. And like for other teams, like what? And for like other teams, it's like they already have they have a problem with something, and that's why they fired their coach. With the Ravens being like a playoff drought. I mean, like losing playoff games. Well, the Browns, the Ravens haven't rebuilt. They already have a team, but it's like it's falling apart kind of. And the Browns have like they're building right now with like a strong running back, Quinshon Judkins. They have what's it called? They have Shador Sanders. They have what's his name?
Harold Fannin.
Yeah, Harold Fannin. And then like coming into this draft class, yeah, is probably good. Like and stuff. Maybe
Yeah, so we have to hit this draft class for sure, but we have a lot of picks. I mean, that's the only thing that saved our GM was this last draft pack, because his previous draft classes were not anything to talk about.
No, they absolutely were nothing to. You don't aspire to have bad draft classes like that. But that's a good point that you make there, Carter. When you look at the teams and these different jobs, for example, Pittsburgh, they've got a quarterback conundrum themselves. What are they going to do? They've got an aging defense. Their offense is not amazing. I guess is the best way I can put it. The Ravens, you've got a what is it, 2-time MVP in Lamar Jackson, but he's injured often. You still have, you still got Derrick Henry, and you have a very good defense. You have, something's got to pull it all together. The Browns have potential with draft capital to get some more pieces in the right place, with arguably probably the defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett. We don't know that yet for sure. Now, the Pro Football Writers of America, PFWA, they voted Carson Schlesinger the defensive rookie of the year. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing. Oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. This is a great idea. Pukesburg should draft Ty Simpson. Would we all be in favor of Pittsburgh drafting Ty Simpson just because he stinks?
Aye.
We all can definitely agree on that, guys. On a separate note, did you watch the college national championship last night at all?
No. I watched some highlights in the morning, but I wasn't really as invested after JMU lost in the first round. But we covered the spread.
Well, you did. I mean, but what about Kurt Cignetti? I mean, being that he came from JMU and half the team came from JMU.
That part just feels unfair. I hate the transfer portal, how everyone just goes to the big teams, just the little small teams. But I'm happy for Indiana. They played amazing all season, went 16-0, and they deserved the win. I'm surprised. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised, given that Miami pretty much had a home game.
You know what?
Well, not pretty much. They did. Now, granted, they have to allocate tickets, but it's on their home field and stuff. I think the problem was Ray Lewis's outfit on the sideline. That hat was terrible. I think he got a free bowl of soup with it.
You know what's interesting though is the sentiment there of the younger generation getting turned off a little bit with, I'm guessing, not only transfer portal, NIL, conference realignment. The playoffs, I think, was a great move by college football. It showed that a number 10 seed can make it. Miami never would have even, been an afterthought if it was still the 4-team playoff, or let alone just the bowl games. But I wonder if college football is going to lose more fans with all these changes they've made, with no regulations about how much you can pay players, no regulations about transfers. It makes it less fun. That's my opinion, and it's interesting hearing it come from the next generation too.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yes, as Mike said, now Miami can go back to being irrelevant for the next 100 years, or Indiana, or both. Either way, I hope they're both irrelevant for a long time. Just as an update here, Mike, we are getting toasted in the at the Mac Center right now, 21-7. That's not so good, friend.
It's like it's just like the Cavs in Oklahoma City.
Oh, we'll get to that disaster later. That was at least we're not the Wizards.
At least we're not the Wizards. That's true.
Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, but you know what though? For Wizards fans, you could say we didn't expect anything, and so you don't feel too badly about it.
We didn't expect anything, and we got nothing.
That's exactly like Browns fans. We expect nothing, we get nothing. It's a beautiful relationship there. Oh, this is good. I'm glad to see that Laura Bush has tuned into this show too. She tuned into the show last week, and she still is looking for a Venmo $35 to get a KFC family feast with a lava cake.
Oh, well, there you go. All
right. Let's see. Oh yes. So the Mike, to answer your question, Mike, Miami of Ohio is undefeated, but the gambling folks had Kent State a 1.5 point favorite, which doesn't appear like that might be the case, but we'll see what happens here.
Well, I think you need to. Do you need to share the little piece of information you shared with me before the show about what happened? What is it? 27 years ago on this date?
Yeah, exactly. So, Carter Camden, check this out. As as we show our old age here, 26 years ago, or no, 27. Forgot what year it is. 27 years ago today, January 20th, 1999, Kent State University hosted Miami of Ohio at the Mac Center when Miami of Ohio, believe they were ranked at the time. They had Wally Zerbiak on the team, and Kent State, in front of a big crowd at the Mac Center, took down Miami of Ohio, and ultimately they rematched in the MAC championship, and Kent State went dancing. Your dad and I, Carter, your dad and I were there, and your dad got to go to Boston.
Yep, for the NCAA tournament.
To see us lose to Temple, which sucked.
Yeah.
Couldn't make a stupid shot. Couldn't make a stinking shot. But the point being, amazing. It was just amazing that it was, in fact, happened 27 years ago today. I was reading some of your Carter. I was reading some of your dad's work for the Daily Kent Stater. It was fantastic. Oh, good. Wait, Laura Bush, she's in it. Beantown, exactly. There won't be any beans from Kentucky Fried Chicken, though. Anyway, so moving forward here.
Laura Bush.
Guys, what else
George
do you?
Bush's wife.
There we go.
Yeah.
But
you guys have anything else? Any other football talk you guys want to lay on us?
I guess I can go first. For all the head coaches that have been fired, especially in the AFC North, 1, 2, 3, just the Bengals sitting around. It's kind of shocking to me that Zach Taylor, is that his name?
Yes, it is. But here, I'll tell you why he still has a job.
Joe Burrow's getting him to stay, right?
This is the reason he still has a job. Okay.
I do not have the money. Okay.
Mike Brown is notoriously cheap. They kept around their prior coach, a prior coach, Marv Lewis, for gosh knows how long, probably too long, because he won't fire people who are under contract. He doesn't want to have to pay them when they're not working for him, and to then pay another person. So they don't have as much liquid, funding and money to spend out of pocket. And it makes it a little bit more difficult. They try and sell the sell the TVs around the stadiums when they need to replace those around. They're like, hey, we'll sell some TVs. I mean, did you see they got fined, I believe, by the NFL? If correct me if I'm wrong. Rumor has it they got some sort of a fine toward the end of the season when it had snowed, and they didn't clear the seats off. They didn't get people, employees or others to come in and clear seats of the snow.
I mean, Cincinnati, what do you expect?
Well, right, exactly. So 17 years. Oh, and let's see, and Mike has said he would offer Laura Bush the bag of soggy potato chips that we've been discussing. See, and my whole premise was, I talked last week about which coach would you take, this coach or a bag of soggy potato chips? So let me ask you, if Jim Schwartz interviewed in Baltimore, would you take Jim Schwartz or a bag of soggy potato chips?
I'll take those potato chips.
That speaks volumes about what you think of Jim Schwartz. You didn't respect the Browns defense?
I mean, I respected Myles Garrett.
Oh, those are some tough talking words there.
What about you, Carter?
That's good enough.
Would you take the bag of soggy was it a bag of soggy potato chips?
Yes.
Okay. That or Jim Schwartz as our head coach for the Browns?
He's having to think hard about this.
Yeah.
He's like, what flavor is it?
Salt and vinegar, man. Best flavor.
Yeah, so if it's salt and vinegar, I'll take the chips.
Wow.
So not a lot of confidence for Jim Schwartz. I was kind of hoping he'd get the job.
I honestly think that he may. So, okay, I'd rather take the soggy potato chips over Todd Monken. What do you think, Camden? Would you take soggy potato chips over?
No, I'd take Todd Monken over soggy potato chips every day. I'll be completely honest.
Oh, your offense, you didn't hand the ball to Derrick Henry.
That's not his fault. That's John Harbaugh.
Who was calling the plays? John Harbaugh wasn't calling the plays.
Yeah, I know that, but John Harbaugh was the main influencer.
If okay, so let's ask you guys this. If this is because this is the argument that we have in Cleveland. Toward the end of the season, or Kevin Stefanski started with the play calling. He gave that up midway through the season. Great call by Kevin Stefanski. He didn't call the play. He's not the one signaling in the call into the helmet. You know who is? The offensive coordinator. So how are you going to complain? How are you going to not blame Todd Monken for that, for not giving it to Derrick Henry?
At the end of the day, the head coach decides the game plan.
You guys, they work together. The game plan is one thing. The person who calls the play is responsible for calling the play.
All I know is that they were doing some stuff all season, towards the end of the season at least, they were alternating Derrick Henry and what's his name, Keaton Mitchell. They were alternating them drives, and that's both decided that. But at the end of the day, the head coach has the higher. His say means more than
you would think that. You would think that, but I'm not so sure. That's very interesting. I think that. It's just crazy. If you look at it, guys, what did we determine? There 10 teams will have a different head coach this year.
That's crazy.
And 8 got a new coach this past season. Although the Raiders went one and done with Pete Carroll, so they're a repeat offender. So I don't know in the math. I got to do the calculus if that would make it 18 teams or 17 teams, but over the past 2 seasons with new head coaches. What did you guys think of the playoff matchups last weekend? Those were some great games. Obviously, the Denver win comes at a cost for them. It came at a cost for Buffalo. For the Denver side of things, they move on, but Bo Nix goes down and is knocked out. So now they're down to Jarrett Stidham. For the Bills, they get ousted, and then they fire McDermott.
Can I have a little aside here now that you're speaking of that? So how did the Broncos recover from their disastrous trade for a quarterback a few years ago? They gave up all these draft picks. Then they trade another first rounder to get Sean Payton. And does that just prove that you get the right coach and you can
Yes.
turn
Yes.
it around? Whereas the Brown, I mean, it was a toss up of who made the worst trade between Deshaun Watson
And Russell Wilson.
and Russell Wilson. And here you have the Broncos going to the AFC Championship game, and we're looking for another coach, and we're back where we always start.
Right. And that's a great point. And it goes to two things in my mind. I don't know what the guarantees were for Wilson in his contract and how much that was.
I think the Broncos had the largest dead cap hit in NFL history. I'm pretty sure.
I think the Browns would overtake that if they were to try and move on from Watson. It's way worse is the problem. And
Broncos just had the courage to just move off of him, take one bad year, just dump him off, go all in, get some young talent, and look where they are now.
right. I think Watson was, in theory, they felt he had more left in the tank than Wilson did. But yeah, it is not great, but the coaching matters. Coaching matters. They've got to recoup some of the draft picks. I think that would be the argument for how the Broncos got back where they did. I mean, they had better coaching. They drafted some good players. They built a phenomenal defense, and now the Browns have to do the same. They can't afford the free agents.
And we have the defense. We can't afford the free agents, and now our coaching situation is up in the air, or at least the Broncos knew they were getting somebody good. So I don't know. It just that amazes me, their turnaround and how we've gone in the complete opposite direction. And we were kind of in the same boat 3 years ago.
Exactly. And actually, let me ask a question, as we just kind of watched how things have played out. If you recall, one of the narratives was look at how the Browns trade for Watson improved and built the Texans, yet CJ Stroud is kind of struggling.
He is.
He had a good first year too, just a sophomore slump, and he had a better year this year than last year, but the defense really just held him up the whole season for the Texans.
The defense was key. He looked terrible in the playoffs. He looked terrible in Pittsburgh. He looked awful in New England. I know the weather wasn't great in New England, but is he going to recover? They're getting to that point. He's year 3, going into year 4. They're going to have to decide about that 5th-year option for him. Do you think he'll end up remaining with Houston? They'll stick with him? I mean, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure if he's on kind of, and I hate to use this comparison, but like a Baker Mayfield trajectory.
Yeah. Well, I think you bring up some good comparisons too. And look at the teams still in the playoffs. You got the 2 AFC teams with young quarterbacks, up and comers, and then you got 2 NFC teams with both were retread quarterbacks for different teams. And they're so 4 different teams, and 2 of they went in different directions. Young quarterbacks, they're succeeding, or you go the NFC route with older quarterbacks who've been on different teams and different situations, and they've revived their careers.
Right.
So,
and the defense that I would say has been kind of key here. I pulled this up. This was on Fox Sports. They had overall defensive ranking. Seattle was 6, the Rams 17, Denver 2, New England 8. So the Rams arguably, I mean, they've got the old veteran there in Stafford. But I mean, defense is key for all these other teams. For Seattle, Denver, New England, defense is the key. They don't need Hall of Fame level quarterback play. You just need to have, adequate quarterback play in these situations. So I think that bodes well or speaks well for the Browns, right? Because we've got defense. Can we get adequate quarterback play and some offense?
And can that be Shador, so we don't have to waste another draft pick on another quarterback?
The questions of our times.
They are. Were you amazed by the turnaround, guys, of Caleb Williams this year? How good coaching changed him?
I mean, the Bears had a phenomenal season this year. They did so well. I mean, Caleb Williams had if it wasn't for Drake May and Matt Stafford, he would have been like maybe MVP candidate number 2.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree completely. They certainly had, and again, the Bears had very good defense. Did you guys hear Rex Ryan and others talking about they should have gone for 2 after they scored that touchdown? They should have gone for 2.
Not at home.
Right. And your defense is playing so well. I say you go to overtime. You know that you're going to get the ball. Both sides get the ball. So it's not a sudden death thing. I feel like it's not as big of a deal that they didn't go for 2, because if you go for 2, you don't get it. You're toast.
Oh, just like the Browns trying to go for 2. What game was that?
Titans game.
Titans game. Two times in a row. Yeah. We saw how that turned out.
That was awesome.
That was brutal. That was
helped us get a better draft pick.
Boy. Now I guess I don't know. That's the question though. Are we upset? And I've heard this talked about, especially in light of what we saw last night in the national championship game and Fernando Mendoza. The Raiders are sitting at number 1, but if we had not won those 2 games against Baltimore, or who would we beat? Cincy and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
We would have had the number 1 pick. Do you guys ever think that you'd rather lose just for a draft pick than win?
Carter, I want to hear your answer for this one.
Yes.
Would you rather have us lost those last 2 games, got the number 1 draft pick, or did you have more fun watching those 2 games since they actually won?
To be honest, for going 3-14 last year and improving by 2 games, it's better because I actually enjoyed watching the games than being waiting a whole nother
9 months.
Yeah, a whole another 9 months until the season starts again for drafts and stuff. It's enjoyable for the last 2 games to actually see them win 2 times.
I love it. I mean, Carter, what about you? I mean, what would you say if you knew that if the Ravens were in a similar situation? Let's act as if they didn't have a quarterback.
If we didn't have a quarterback, I was gonna say if we had all of our talent, but we were 3-12 and we could have gone 5-12 to end our season. Honestly, I would have rather us just lose those 2 games. But if we had a good quarterback, if we already had an established team, just a really, really bad off year, I would have rather we won just to get my spirits up going into next year. Just put me out of my misery slightly, but in a good way.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation. Sometimes you get lucky and you have those off years where, for example, the Colts lucked into Andrew Luck. The year of course,
yep.
The year that Peyton Manning is injured and doesn't play all season and they stink, they land number 1 overall and get Andrew Luck to move on. Any other year, it's crazy. And how about in basketball? I know there's a draft lottery, but the San Antonio Spurs back in the day, David Robinson gets injured and they end up with the number 1 pick and get Tim Duncan.
Yep.
Just so lucky. It's so funny. But I think that things take care of themselves. If you think about it, guys, last year, the Patriots, I believe, were in position to be the number 1 pick, and they won the final week of the season. Look where they are this year.
Yeah. And who says, that number 1 pick is no sure thing anymore?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we let the 2 youngins go?
Absolutely. I think that's fine. Thank you so much for being with us. This is great. You will join us again soon. We will talk more football. We'll be getting ready for the NFL draft. I love it. Thank you so much for being with us, fellas.
Thanks for having us on your
guys.
podcast.
Absolutely. Have a great night, guys.
See you guys. See you guys.
See ya. All right. Thank you so much. Now, Mike, thank you for arranging that. I am glad that we got to have the boys on. Can't wait to talk some more. No, it's great insight to hear people from other fan bases. And that's up. And here's a good question. I hope that Pukesburg doesn't luck into Arch Manning next year.
Well, I don't know. Arch Manning is going to be
or
the savior
whomever,
everybody thinks. Yeah,
or
yeah.
whomever it is. They could have one of these terrible years, and then they end up with a next Hall of Famer. They're set for a generation.
It has been nice to see Pittsburgh struggle with the quarterback situation too, just like we have.
Yeah, the only difference is they're still winning.
Yeah.
But that's to their detriment because it sticks them right in the middle of the pack. And Mike, just to answer your question, not Mike from the UK, Carter is Mike's oldest son, and Camden is is Carter's friend from the neighborhood. He's a Ravens fan. They've both been on with us before. We had video of Carter having to shovel snow last year. It was fantastic.
Yep, the bet between the Ravens and the Browns, which the Browns will lose almost every time.
Almost every time,
We
except
got to
when they
take
don't.
points next year.
I think so. I do think so. So, I mean, just what have you made of what's been going on with the Browns? Are you at all disappointed about the Mike McDaniel thing, or right now it appears the favorite in the clubhouse? It looks like it's either Udinski or Schwartz are kind of the leaders.
So I'm serious when I say I think the Browns are just going to get whoever's left. We, I think, are the worst, probably the least attractive destination for any team. Maybe the Raiders, they have the number 1 pick though. But then really, when you think about the Bills, Steelers, and Ravens, what coach is going to choose the Browns over them? So if we do have to go with, maybe a less sexy hire, and it's between Udinski and Schwartz, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have Schwartz. Okay, Udinski is 30 years old, offensive coordinator in Jacksonville, who's never called plays. You're going to have players older than him on the team. Okay, I don't even want to put him in that situation. That's not fair to him. And I know everybody's like, well, Sean McVay did it. I know. Every once in a while, there's an exception to the rule, and it works out, and it worked out for him. I don't see that happening in Cleveland with the mess that we have. I would rather have an experienced guy who knows the team, who's been a head coach before, who's older, who it looks like the majority of the players respect. So I would much rather have Jim Schwartz over Udinski.
Right. Now, what if if the idea is that they bring in Udinski as the head coach and Schwartz as the D coordinator?
No, I still don't like it.
You want the veteran. I don't. Yeah. I could argue either way. I could go either way. I think I'm not saying that Schwartz is a perfect candidate. I'm not saying he is the perfect coach. He's only had one other head coaching stop in Detroit. But I do think that he garners the respect of the team. And the defensive unit has been the best unit and most consistent unit. There have been times that they have let us down. You let Carson Wentz drive 80 yards on you last year, in London. You've had some other games where just you're out of your mind. But then you say, is it because the offense is so inept and the margin for error is so slim? I'd be fine with it. If they hire Jim Schwartz and they come out and say that whenever it is next week or whatever, okay, great.
What if we did the opposite? What if we made Jim Schwartz the head coach and brought in Udinski as the offensive coordinator?
I would be perfectly fine with that.
Give him like an assistant head coach title to lure him away from Jacksonville, something like that. That I can see happening. Yeah.
And I would be perfectly fine with that. I think that for Udinski, he has to see it as a better opportunity. He has to see it going because would be going from offensive coordinator with no play calling duty. So what did they call them? They came up with this acronym on ESPN Cleveland for Tommy Reese at the beginning of the year. He was OCINO, offensive coordinator in name only.
Oh God. Yeah.
And that's a good. Trevor Lawrence spoke very highly of Udinski for helping him turn his career around, and Sam Darnold too was under Udinski in Minnesota.
Oh, was he really? Okay. I didn't put that together.
And Sam Darnold has turned out to be pretty darn good. So if we could get him in here, I would not mind that at all. I like that. I'm not upset about the Mike McDaniel thing. I'm fine with what we've got. It's been rough. I think that we're going to be, based upon where we ended up in the draft order, I'm also not too upset. The draft class is a weak quarterback draft class, as we've learned. Mm-hmm. They're going to need to roll with Sanders, and unfortunately, maybe Watson's still a part of the equation, which I really hate.
Yeah, I'm with you. They were saying the reports are he was looking good in practice, but we've heard that before too. And then he comes out and just, stinks up the joint. But while we're still on the coaching subject, what was your take on Stefanski getting hired so soon and then bringing Callahan back as his offensive line coach in Atlanta, and most likely bringing over our offensive coordinator,
Tommy Reese.
Tommy Reese, hiring him away from us? Thoughts on that? So assembling his old coaching staff in Atlanta, a coaching staff that didn't do great here.
Yeah, good choice. Excellent. Other than Bill Callahan, have Tommy Reese. Great. You know what you're going to get when you go? You're going to go over to Atlanta, and you've got an old Kirk Cousins and an injury-prone Michael Penix, who's going to be coming off another injury. And that's another one. Can they please take Bubba Ventrone too?
Yes, please. Please.
So
let him go anywhere but here.
So yeah, that would be that would definitely be good. Sorry, it just saw it. Technology is great and weird at the same time. And I'm seeing things, and I'm seeing I have you get the calls every once in a while, and now I could see that I was getting a voicemail, and I'm like,
You're multitasking.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. That's the thing. Update, everybody. I know that everybody's worried. I am, representing my KSU Golden Flashes here today. We are what? We're down 37-28 in the late in the first half.
So we're hanging around.
Well, look, the game started off. It was 9-0 Miami.
Sure.
All right, so we have a question here. I think find out if we can interview Shieldhouse after the NFC Championship game if they reach a Super Bowl. I believe so, Mike, because there is a bye week between the conference championship and the Super Bowl, I believe. Therefore,
yeah, I think you're right. We can interview him, but we can't hire him till after the Super Bowl.
Correct. For us, I don't think he's the serious candidate that we would be looking to hire. I think it would simply be to interview him. So, we'll find out. That'll be an interesting twist and turn here. Have you just been shocked by all the coaching changes?
Yeah. You know what else I wanted to bring up too? Not only just all the coaching changes, but in Cleveland, we've had 5 Coach of the Year awards in the last 5 years, I believe it is.
Yeah.
2 for the Tribe, 2 for the Browns, and 1 for the Cavs. And look where that's gotten us. It's amazing. It's amazing how the only one that I'm still is the guards coach Vogt. He's done an amazing job and he has yet to prove us wrong. He's only been there 2 years and won 2 Coach of the Year awards. But you have the Cavs, who are a mess right now after the great season last year, and who knows what we're doing. You've got the Browns, two Coach of the Year wins, and then we win eight games in 2 years, and the coach gives up play calling duties and takes it back and gives it up again. Just what a mess. We have all these great supposed coaches, and we can't do anything with it. It's amazing to me.
It defies all odds. It really does. But I think I saw a graphic that talked about all of the coaches who've recently won Coach of the Years and how many of them are now have been fired.
Yeah.
You win that 1 year, you strike, you get lightning in a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And then it, kind of goes south. After the newness wears off, and you got to be able to build, and that's really the I guess the key in all of this. So I think that, as you say that, let me just to kind of close out our NFL playoff talk here. What are your thoughts? Do you have any predictions in the AFC and NFC championship games? What do you think?
Sure. I think it's going to be real hard for the Broncos, just with Bo Nix out and Stidham. It's not like the Eagles back 5-6 years ago,
with Nick Folk.
Right, the Nick Folk season. So I think it's going to be real hard because New England has a really solid team. Obviously, number 1 or 2 MVP candidate. So I'm thinking New England. On the other side, Seattle looks pretty unstoppable right now, especially with their defense. So I could easily see Seattle winning it all. Just rolling through the Rams. I mean,
Right.
how amazing is that NFC West, by the way?
I
That
know that's crazy. What I mean, the NFC West turned out to just be so tough, and San Fran was just destroyed. They were killed by the injury bug.
Yeah. Somebody told me that anytime we get a new pope, the Seahawks win or go to the Super Bowl. So so this may be their year.
It may be. Well, and it could be a rematch of Seattle and New England.
Yeah. Yep. Or Seattle and Denver, wasn't it?
Yeah, Seattle beat. So in the 2 years,
right.
the 2 year span, it went Seattle beat the snot out of Manning and Denver at that Super Bowl in New York, and then the next year they lose to New England on that that interception at the goal line that Wilson throws. That just crazy. Or the next year after, I don't want to get my years too confused here, but you know what? So I'm in agreement with you on both of those calls. I definitely think it's going to be. We're probably looking at. I'm thinking it's going to be New England and Seattle. I mean, Stafford's tough, but man, that playing in Seattle and that defense.
Yeah. So we have been to a couple of Seattle games up there. That's no joke.
Wow.
That 12th man. That is a great stadium, by the way. So
wow.
Yeah, that is going to be a factor for sure.
Wow, crazy. Well, I hate to do it, but we're going to have to move on and talk about another sad franchise, one that's a little bit more disappointing this year, at least, because of the expectations. The Cavs are letting us know that they're not for real, in my opinion.
Yeah. What happened?
All I can say is, okay, is it the injury bug, or is it just that the mentality and the guys aren't putting in the effort? Because that's all I can come up with.
I think we've forgotten to play defense. We've forgotten how to play defense. I wonder if the carryover from last year, because they were before we hired. Why am I blanking on the coach's name?
Atkinson.
We were a defensive oriented team, and Atkinson was supposed to bring creative offensive creativity with this talent, which he did, and they still had the defensive foundations. I wonder if that's now we're a year removed from that. If that has something to do with it. We're not having the focus on defense anymore because we're still scoring a ton of points, but we can't stop anybody. And whether that be because of the injuries, and I think it's more than just the injuries. I think it is coaching on some level and not putting an emphasis on that.
How much of it was, though, losing some of the assistants we lost? We lost Damari Carroll and Jordan Ott, because Ott went to took the coaching job. Whoever it was that took the coaching job in Phoenix took Damari Carroll with him.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What? This cannot. No, that's not right. I thought that was something else. Yeah, there's no way he did not. I'm sure I would have known about these things. But anyway, okay, I'm just checking the news here, making sure, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. All right, moving forward here, or looking at that. I guess yesterday was disgraceful, as per the usual.
Yeah, and it did. It almost seemed like they just they hung around for a bit, and then once they got down by like 12 points, it just was.
It was over. It was over. I mean, and I even turned it. I looked after halftime because I gave up, and I look. I'm like, oh, hey, we're within 10, 92-82, and then all of a sudden it was like back down by 20 points. I'm like, get out of here. This is garbage. This is complete garbage. I cannot, because one, that like, even if you have DG, he helps on the offensive end, but he's kind of a target on the defensive end. Sam Merrill, as tough as he plays, and I love his effort, they're still going to be looking to take him hard, on the defensive end. They're going to take him to task. I guess that this is brutal.
Yeah. The only silver lining I have, and I hope this holds true, this is a glass half full, is that some of our younger guys are getting some good playing time, and we're starting to see like Naquin Tomlin, some Thomas Bryant, some Craig Porter. They look like legit rotational players. And if we can get some of our starters back in the playoffs, have these guys actually be contributors, because I think last year we did not use our bench enough in the playoffs. And if Atkinson will actually start using the bench in the playoffs, maybe this could help us.
Right.
We'll
you can't have a Ty Jerome happen. Ty Jerome fell off a cliff in the playoffs, and then once you started getting the injuries, we were hosed. Hosed. You had, because if you think about it, the Indiana series. So first of all, Miami was a joke, and the Indiana series, you immediately get, as we talked about with Tim Alcorn, Mobley lands on the dude's foot, rolls his ankle. DeAndre Hunter gets his hand injured, right off the bat. Then Garland was still injured, misses the first 2 games. He comes back. He wasn't ready to play. He shouldn't have been. He did his best. So I give him credit for that. I mean, that was no joke what was going on there. But you can't tell me that getting Max Strus back is going to solve all that ails us.
No. What's happened to Hunter, by the way?
He has had a rough go of it. It has not been
year.
It has been very rough. It seemed like at the beginning of the year he was all right. He was kind of hitting his shots. He was doing okay, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
And Lonzo Ball, he's been a disappointment.
So actually, great. Please, can you please send Isaac Okoro back? I think they swindled us. Isaac Okoro's stats. 8 now, granted, he's playing, a goodly amount of minutes. He is averaging 8.6 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists, shooting 47.4% from the field, 33% from beyond the 3-point arc. Lonzo Ball, on the other hand, 4.9 points, 3.9 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 30.4% from the field overall, and I believe I saw he is shooting 27.1% from 3. And 2 things here. One is that, yes, I will take the soggy potato chips.
Yes.
And Max Strus isn't going to help the defense struggling to hold teams under 110 points. I don't see it unless it fixes the rotation. I am loving Jalen Tyson.
Yeah, that, sure. Another guy that's getting a chance to prove himself, and he's doing it.
Absolutely. He is doing a fantastic job out there. I mean, an amazing night on Friday night in Philadelphia. Just unreal. He was unconscious, and the way that in the closing moments, he's the one who ends up with the ball and makes the attracts the defense and makes the dish to Mobley to dunk it home. The only saving grace is that the Eastern Conference kind of is a mess. I know that Detroit is way out in front, but they're kind of unproven. We'll have to see what happens. I shouldn't doubt them. I mean, JB's got him playing well. So is
this one of those, just like LeBron said, just get me to the playoffs and, I'll take it from there?
I don't.
It doesn't feel like it does it.
We don't have LeBron on this team.
No, we don't.
I mean, I love Mitchell, but he's not LeBron, and the other guys that were on that team, Kevin Love and Kyrie. Sorry, I don't know that we have Kevin Love and Kyrie on this team after Donovan Mitchell. I mean, it's like Mobley is completely disappointing. He is such a disappointment. So a good question: where's Giannis going to go? That's a great question. He's going to be gone. He's leaving. He will ask out of Milwaukee and figure a way out of there. They might even be more of a disappointment than the Cavs are.
Yeah. I mean, I know that question is, could the Cavs get him? That's probably the follow-on question, but I know being in that second apron really hinders us for what we can do.
At this juncture, I would trade Allen and Garland for soggy potato chips. But if Mobley was included with that too, I'd do that. The only player I would not be willing to get rid of is Mitchell. And you need to get
Mobley?
Out
Would you get rid of Mobley?
Oh yeah. Adios.
Really?
He's not good enough. He's never going to be. He got okay. We got hosed because Wemby got injured. The fact that Wemby got injured last year allowed Mobley to get DPOY. and that made his contract a supermax.
Yep.
And that screwed us.
Yeah, it put us in the second apron for sure. But you don't think he's young enough that he will still develop and turn into something that we want him, like a Giannis almost, because it took him a few years.
It did. Okay. Here's where I think we struggle with Mobley. Attitude or lack thereof. He's such a nice guy. I don't ever see him getting mad. He doesn't stand up for himself. He doesn't. Last year, when they were talking about Defensive Player of the Year, he was like, kind of mumbles and not. That's just not who he is. I need somebody who wants to take the ball and take it to a defender, throw some elbows, show me some Rick Mahorn, show me some Bill Laimbeer. Let's get dirty. Let's go.
That's what you. All right. He is not that for sure. I agree. I don't know if that's what we need from him though.
We need somebody with attitude. Who's our attitude guy?
Maybe that could be Giannis. That used to be who did we trade last year? To Atlanta. Who did we trade
yeah. Not Levert. Niang.
That used to be Niang. We need to get him back.
Yeah, good question. What happened to
Niang?
Yeah, I'd take the G-Wagon right now. Bring him back. Let's go. Okay, not ready to give up on Mobley. What happened to DeAndre? That's DeAndre, like you said, Mike, he has kind of fallen off of a cliff. He just has not looked good or comfortable. Again, I think the fact that we haven't been able to settle into a rotation, we've started 20 plus different starting fives this year. Yesterday, we had a starting five of guys who apparently never had played to 1 minute together on the court in a game.
Yeah.
Are we serious?
I mean, you look at Boston, they haven't had as many injuries as us, but they had their number one player go down, and they're still number 2 in the East. I mean, they figured out a way to overcome it.
There was 24 different starting lineup out of 42 games, I think, 43 games. That's ridiculous. And we've lost more games this season than we lost all of last season.
Yeah. And I know we've had a lot of injuries, but do we really need 24 different starting lineups? I mean, that's a coaching decision. We haven't had that many injuries.
It is,
but you need to go with 24 different starting lineups.
It's kind of crazy. I mean, obviously, you could, let's say Lonzo Ball was good enough to play every night, which he can't because of injury management. That would be like, all right, if he was playing well enough, you still wouldn't play him on second nights of back-to-backs or back-to-back games. And that would create some lineup changes. But the fact that Sam Merrill has sprained his hand or done something to his hand like 5 different times already, Jared Allen broke a finger on different hands. You got Dean Wade, who's constantly getting injured. He played 17 minutes yesterday and had a big fat 0 points. We had as many points in the game yesterday as Dean Wade had. I mean,
and we're getting paid a lot less.
Exactly. I don't know that there's a magic elixir. I can't figure it out. And I think poor Kenny is exasperated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, coach of the year, he's got to figure it out.
He does, or Dan will send him packing.
Yeah. He's not afraid to pay coaches when they're no longer coaching for him.
There it is. Greatest ability is availability.
All right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, and everybody, thank you for tuning in again. Thank you to having Camden and Carter on earlier. If you didn't catch it, try and catch us on the replay. We were talking lots of NFL football. We had a resident Ravens fan in the house to join us in our AFC North talk, and we were commiserating in the coaching carousel here. And of course, I also want to thank Paulie Campione as we are part of Collecting and Connecting, Good Vibes community. Great to be here, and thank you all for joining us. And it's also good to have my man Mike Rasinski back in the house here.
Good to be back.
My co-host, and always good for him to be here. So, if let's just to kind of clean up the Cavs. If ultimately the Cavs don't get healthy, and or they get bounced early in the playoffs or our play-in team, do you blow it up? Or do you say this was just bad luck with injuries this year?
Oh, man. That's a good question. I don't think I have a good answer. I guess I would like to see some type of major change because it's been too many years where we've gotten bounced out of the first round at this point. So I think you blow it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know. And to answer this question, I don't know when the Tribe is going to sign a right-handed bat. Yeah,
They're all our right-handed bats are in the minor leagues, and they're going to give them all a tryout this year.
apparently. Yeah, I'm Mike. I am more apt to feel like we need to blow it up.
Yeah, me too.
I'm ready because I'm not doing this again. I'm not running these guys back. We're in the second apron. We need to get cheaper and we need to find more young talent. I want to see more Tyrese Proctor. I want to continue to see him develop. If he can be on the same trajectory as Jalen Tyson, I'd be very happy with that. Certainly, Craig Porter is playing nicely. Naquan Tomlin didn't even play high school basketball.
Yeah, that kid's amazing.
I love his energy.
Yeah.
Heck, you know what? I'm going to say this, and Mike from the UK might fall over. I'd rather see Luke Travers than Lonzo Ball.
At this point, yeah, it's hard to argue that.
I would rather see him, Luke Travers and Lonzo Ball. So with all that, we've gotten it all out of our system. A good deep cleanse here.
There you go.
It's a good deep cleanse, Mike. 4 years is long. Figure it out. Can't get fifth season with the same four. I agree. I absolutely agree. So with that, Mike, I'd love to know, is anything, what's got you going nuclear this week?
So we've kind of already hit on it, but I'm going to go back to this whole state of college football right now. The college playoffs were actually pretty exciting. They were fun games to watch. I love what they did there. But you had this Indiana team that the only reason they made it and won it is because they had a bunch of sixth-year seniors, a bunch of transfers, essentially bought their team. And they're playing within the rules. Nothing wrong against it. They're adapting to the game better than other teams are adapting to the game. So give them credit. But for me personally, it takes the fun out of it. It takes the amateurish out of the sport. And I would rather just watch the NFL where I know what everybody's getting paid. And I know there's a salary cap. And I know there's limits on trades and free agents signing and all this stuff where none of that exists in college anymore. And it's kind of the Wild West. And it takes away a lot of the fun that the college football playoffs had instilled in the sport. So that's what's got me going nuclear right now.
No, that's a great one. Well, yeah. Well, wait a second. That's good. At least, it means.
Well, I don't even know who's in the SEC anymore. I don't even know who's in the Big Ten anymore.
Well, that is true. That is kind of craziness. The realignment is also a mess and a disaster there. Well, Mike, what has me going nuclear today is technology. Why can't things just work? Why is it that the simplest solutions are not that simple? I go out and I buy a device to make my life easier from switching computers, my work computer and my home computer, my laptop, switching between monitors. So when I go to do the podcast, no problem. I didn't buy a cheap device, yet somehow, it won't work. It will not work with my work computer. And I'm having to thankfully I'm getting help, IT help. But why is it? Why can't things just work?
And they're only going to get more complicated the older we get.
It is. It's true. It is absolutely true. And the fact that just like you said, technology. Yes, Mike, I'm still moaning about tech issues. You don't understand how late I stayed up messing around with these things. But yeah, I guess what has me going nuclear is just, come on, technology. Be better.
Be better.
Be better. Well, you know what wasn't better? What will be better? The next time we're on.
That's right.
It'll be all good. So, Mike, thank you so much for being on and being glad to have you back. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. Thanks to Paulie Campione as part of Collecting and Connecting Good Vibes community. And thank you, everybody, for commenting. So, for Mike Rasinski, I'm Ethan Greenberg, and you've been tuned in to Going Nuclear, full-blown coverage of the land.